honest, I wasn't going to touch on this because I wasn't sure if it was true or not. I didn't have a clear understanding. But after going over the different arguments, it's only fair that we speak on it. What are we referring to exactly? Eve partaking in immoral sexual relations with the devil. I remember I was watching Dr. Peterson's lecture on the story of Cain and Abel, and he said something particularly interesting regarding verse 7 verse 7 of chapter 4. He made the claim that when sin awaits at the first opportunity of missing the mark, which is not living up to your highest potential, then when that door opens, you let the sin in and you intertwine with the sin. It's a sexual act. You let this thing have its way with you. You let it defile you. And I was never 100% on board with that interpretation. But here it seems to apply. Remember when we first covered the creation story, we said that thanks to sin, we are created in the image of Satan. We come into this world by God through our parents. Sin came into the world by Eve through the devil. Eve birthed sin, and another correlation we can draw from is the birth of the Nephilim. They came into the world because women were enticed with forbidden knowledge, which is exactly what happened to Eve. So there's more evidence to support the claim. The other day, I was watching this video on YouTube that went semi-viral. It demonstrated a sad truth about the values of our society when it comes to dating. This guy, who was a believer, went on a dating show, and there were about 10 women, and they all turned him down. Now, this guy was handsome as heck, okay? He was tall, he was fit, he was well dressed, he ticked all the modern boxes. But the one thing he said that was an instant turn off was that he was looking for a godly woman. He was looking for that Proverbs 31 woman, you feel me? All the women said the same thing. You're very attractive, but you're just not for me. It was mind-blowing. But it was also saddening because men of God aren't valued all that much in the eyes of women. The spirit of Eve is rife in our dating culture. It's the spirit that goes under the radar. Jezebels have the spotlight, but Eve goes under the radar. She's there, but it goes under the radar. A lot of women don't want the good man because Eves aren't attracted to good men. That's not attractive in the eyes of Eve. Eves are attracted to bad men, while Jezebels are attracted to weak men. Eves defile themselves and then go to find the good man after she's had her fun, got her heart broken, and now it's time to find a real man who will love her and take care of her needs and treat her the way she needs to be treated. But here's the big difference. Here's the big difference between man and woman. Eve was younger than Adam, meaning women hit their prime way before men do. So by the time that Eve is looking for her Adam, it's going to be too late. Because an Adam doesn't want that. Now, I know I'm being harsh. I'm not saying this to judge. Because salvation is for everyone. But what I am saying is that men out there, there's a lot of guys out there who don't want to be with the woman who slept around because, as we were saying at the start, that's a violation of the sacred act of creation in itself. Let's give that a second. So, any Jezebel watching? Can stop themselves from having a heart attack. A lot of people, a lot of women will say, that's not fair. If a girl can't do it, then why can't a guy do it? I didn't say that. body count doesn't matter, is what they say. And how come a guy can have a multiple body count, but a girl can't? That's not right. Let's clear it up. First of all, we're not condoning either of it. But why it's more frowned upon from a woman's perspective is because everything we've been saying. Women are the weaker vessel. They need protecting. Or Jezebel's, I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. Okay. Okay. But we're not condoning sexual sin for anyone, despite gender. But what we're saying is that men and women aren't equal. And if you've been paying attention, then you'd know that. They're not equal. They're not equal. So let's break this lie of equality. Because men and women aren't equal. There are things a man can do that a woman can't, and vice versa. I'm just saying, we're breaking down your programming. We're deprogramming you here. You've been fed so many lies from the world, we've got to deprogram you and strip that back. You've been indoctrinated. We need to undo the work of culture. I know I come across like I hate women, but I don't hate women. I'm just giving you the meaning behind the stories. That's all this is. So don't hate me. If we take this nature of Eve into account, it really does point to the idea that Eve had partaken in sexual relations with the devil, which would mean that Cain, the firstborn human, meaning the first human to be conceived,